podcast made by basketball fans for basketball fans. From the hottest takes, news, analysis, and passion for the sport that we all love, this is the Fast Break Pod with Finn James and Will Tremaine. Welcome into the Fast Break Podcast, the podcast made by basketball fans
for basketball fans.
Finn James,
Will Tremaine.
back again, episode number 20, Will. How on earth has we got here?
It's half a year, almost half a year, bro. Crazy.
That is ridiculous. Wait, almost half a year?
What, episode 26 will be half a year?
Damn.
We missed a week, so it's like 21 weeks.
Damn.
So
Crazy. We've almost half a year talking our favorite sport of all time.
yes,
Ridiculous. Jam-packed episode, of course, as always. 2 Breakers games to break down in the last week. NBA popping off. Obviously, NBL round 16 will wrap up that as well. Obviously, a few games left before the end of the week. The rounds are a bit weird now at the moment. A lot of midweek games nearing the end of the season, but for the most part, we'll break down all the ones that have happened in round 16 so far. But where do we start, Will? Quickfire world news.
Quickfire world news. Auckland FC lose 1-0 to second to last place, Perth. In Perth, to be fair. I think it's the second longest home in a series in the world. Second longest distance to travel for 2 teams.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yes, pretty crazy.
Is that Auckland FC's first loss?
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah, well, unfortunately.
Still, I think they're still up there, like, I think they're third, second or third, yeah.
Third on the table, still doing wonders. Obviously, the Wellington Phoenix, they all had a 2-1 loss to Adelaide. They're struggling, continuing to struggle this year. Very unfortunate. Black Caps, obviously, I love my bit of cricket. Expert here, of course, on the Fast Break Podcast, as I like to claim.
Smartest person in the cricket industry of all time.
Oh, I agree. They failed to sweep Sri Lanka. Sorry, India. That'd be a bit racist. Failed to sweep Sri Lanka.
Your facts right, man.
Failed to sweep Sri Lanka in the ODI series at Eden Park last night. A bit of a battering, actually. However, won the series 2-1. They're heading off to Abu Dhabi and Dubai and those other cities for the Champions Challenge or Series or something. Champions Series in the very near future. So there'll be some more cricket and a bit of boxing news. A bit of a Kiwi in action for a world title.
Yes, sir. David Nyeka. Don't know if I pronounced that last name right. Nika, yeah. He fought for the IBF Cruiserweight Championship of the World and the Ring Magazine title as well against an Aussie, Jai Opataya, who's quickly rising up the pound-for-pound ranks as one of the best in the world. So this was a trans-Tasman clash over in Gold Coast, I believe it was. And unfortunately, I mean, he was a massive underdog going in.
Yeah, he was.
He looked good in the first couple rounds, considering he's going up against one of the best boxers in the world at the moment. But yeah, Jai Opataya found that finishing combo to put David Nyeka away, and man, it was brutal.
I thought they should have stopped the fight earlier.
Yeah, I didn't think that. I stayed up to watch the fight. It was obviously like 2 a.m. Yeah, it was almost 2 by that time. Pretty crazy. And watching it live, I didn't think it was an early stoppage, but having looked back, I think they could have stopped it earlier. Obviously, cold. Prayers up for David Nyeka. It was pretty brutal. But I think it's just a matter of, I think he took this fight too soon in his career against the champion.
Obviously, he was fight, professionally?
No, he had 10. He was 10-0 going into this fight. But yeah, I mean, it was short notice. 3 weeks, I believe it was.
Yeah.
Jai's original opponent pulled out. And I think David needed probably another year or 2 to really work his way up to this level of opponent. Because, I mean, Jai Opatari's 27-0 now, 21 knockouts.
Ridiculous.
Undisputed, best cruiserweight in the world. And now there's rumours that he might be going up to heavyweight in the near future to fight Alexander Usyk in one of the biggest fights in boxing history. Obviously, Usyk came from cruiserweight division, so... The two of them fighting it out for the undisputed heavyweight championship. That would be a fight I'd love to see. So congratulations to Jai, and all the best to David.
Big ups David Nyeka. Obviously, probably quite a bright future in the boxing space.
100%. He'll be a champion. Give it 2 years. He'll be a champ.
Yeah. NFL playoffs, well, I'm obviously not really over this. Not really my sport, but you've been keeping up with it?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I think it's a wild card round at the moment. The Ravens beat the Steelers today, and the Texans got a pretty big win over the Chargers. But I think the teams to look out for in the playoffs this year, personally, the Detroit Lions, they're my team to win it all. I think they finished 15-2 on the season, so they've had a really good year. And Philadelphia Eagles as well. They've got probably the best NFL player in the world right now, Saquon Barkley.
Oh, yeah.
Who's just absolutely been going off game after game. So, yeah, it should be an exciting year. Hopefully the Chiefs don't win it all again. Mahomes is bit trash, bit overrated in my opinion.
Oh,
But,
wow. Crazy take.
yeah.
Fair enough. Well, that's all for the world news. Here we got some NBL round 16 action, of course. First game of the round, we had Melbourne United face off against the Sydney Kings, and a relatively top of the table clash. I think second and third place on the ladder.
Yep.
United got up in this one, 90-88. A very, very back and forth game. Jack White, standout for United here with 23 points and 10 rebounds. Obviously, he was in the MVP race a little bit during this year. Fallen off a little bit, but I mean, a really good performance from Jack White.
Should
and
put him back in there.
Kiwi Shaylee with 20. You always love to see it.
Yeah, of course. All Kiwis. Love to see them playing well. Yeah, I mean, this was essentially battle for second place, I think. This is kind of solidified maybe Melbourne. I think it would be tough for them to lose that second spot now. Whoever had won this game, I think, was going to get that second spot and still potentially have a shot at first over Illawarra, considering their big upset loss
Against Cairns a few weeks ago. Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, good game. Xavier Cooks for Sydney, 21-10, looking like that top guy that I think he might crawl his way back into the MVP race as well.
By the end of the year?
By the end of the year, being on a really high contending team and probably their best player. And what about the Kawat Noi off the bench, Finn?
Kawat Noi, and I'm going to say it right now, I believe he's going to win Sixth Man of the Year. Obviously, I had Mojave King probably winning it at the start because he was doing very well before he went down with his injury. Kawat Noi, 19 points in the night, honestly has been on a heater off the bench for Sydney. I think he's doing absolute wonders. His versatile game from the outside, the inside, defensively, he does everything. I think it's his award to lose this year, Will.
Yeah, 100%. I think he's definitely solidified as the front runner to win that one. I thought Cam Oliver going into the season would win it, his
Same
fellow
as me,
teammate.
yeah.
But he's definitely been the second option off the bench for Sydney for most of the season. I think Kawat Noi's locked that one in.
Yeah, I mean, there's only
Mojave's
about...
obviously struggled.
I think there's only about 5 or 6 games remaining for most teams in the season now, and I think Kawat Noi's probably solidified that spot, in my opinion. And we'll move on to the next one. Tassie versus 36ers. OT thriller. Tassie down the stretch went absolutely crazy. But your boy, Kendrick Davis, once again, honestly, solidifying his spot as one of the best players in this league in his first season in the NBL. 39 points and 7 assists and a 104-103 win for Tassie.
Yeah, I think Kendrick Davis is going to be that one guy. Like, if anyone's going to knock off Bryce Cotton from winning that MVP, I think it's going to be Kendrick Davis. Obviously, it will come down to team records and stuff, but 39 points is crazy. I think he's probably right there with Bryce Cotton as the best offensive players in the league.
Oh,
and just get to their spot and get you a
100%.
bucket when you need it. And with 7 assists as well, it shows that he's very capable of facilitating for his teammates as well.
Yeah, we talk about how Kendrick Davis is obviously in the top 3 for MVP at the moment. Adelaide's sitting currently on 8th on the table too. So
Yeah.
if Adelaide were potentially a higher team, maybe ahead of Perth, obviously Perth in 3rd at the moment,
Yeah.
Kendrick Davis might have already tipped Bryce Cotton for an MVP shout. But obviously with Adelaide sitting in 8th, which, may I add, very surprising, Will.
Yeah, and it doesn't help that Bryce Cotton's also on a heater.
Oh.
So if Bryce Cotton had maybe fallen off a little bit, then Kendrick Davis could have had a shout at that. But Bryce Cotton's still been going off for obviously third place Perth now. I think he's locked that one in at this point with 4 or 5 games left in the season.
Yeah, I think it's going to be almost impossible for Bryce Cotton to kind of bottle this MVP shout. I think he's averaging near 38 points per game in his last 7.
Crazy.
It's actually ridiculous, and obviously we'll get into the Perth game very soon. They played Tassie tonight, but in terms of some other points going into this Tassie 36ers game in OT, Humphreys with 21. Good to see him get back on the board.
Yep.
And the boys from Tassie, Majuk Deng off the bench with 26, and Milton Doyle with 22 hit some huge shots down the stretch. Only 39% from the field though.
Yeah, hopefully he can make that shout for the Boomers. I know he wants to get his Aussie citizenship. That'd be cool to see him playing for the Boomers. I think he could be a sneaky pick in that team. Definitely that main guy in Tassie.
Yeah, 100%.
I think he's the guy that got a credit getting the job done late game down the stretch. So Tassie, obviously they're doing quite well at the moment. They keep their playoff hopes alive. I think they're in 6th place now, Finn.
They are, yeah.
So
Yeah,
big win for Tassie.
Actually, we'll stay on this game very quickly, though. I want to highlight how, going into this year, obviously, with the talent they had on Adelaide this year so far, with the likes of Kendrick Davis, Montrezl Harrell, DJ Vasiljevic, Isaac Humphreys, Jarrell Martin, 5 players you could honestly have starting on any team in this league. Sitting in 8th has been so surprising, Will.
That's the problem, what you just said, though. 5 players, but then they have no depth. The bench just is not deep enough to be contenders in the league. When you look at the likes of Sydney and how deep that team is, I mean, you're going to be good. You're starting 5 at the start of the first quarter, start of the third quarter, end of game situations. But it's those little stretches where your starters are coming off, where you're just going to, I mean, in most scenarios, lose your lead or lose what small deficit you did have.
It is a shame, though, because I really want to see Adelaide in that top 6, because watching playoff basketball with Montrez and Kendrick Davis, and DJ Vasiljevic as well, probably going to be cinema whoever they play.
I think they only have to get into that 6th spot as well to be like real threats. I think if they can just make it to number 6, I think they'll have a good shout at winning that play-in game. And then they'll obviously play, and then the second play-in game. I think they're definitely, all they have to do is get number 6 and have a fully healthy team, Kendrick, DJ, and Montrez. And they could definitely be a shout to win the whole thing this year.
Yeah, come playoff time and you have 3 players of that caliber.
Yeah.
They can beat any given team, I reckon, on any night.
100%.
And it is a shame that they might miss out, because the middle of this table in the NBL right now is so damn close. They're currently sitting about 3 wins out of that 6th place where Tassie's currently holding it down. So
we won't be holding them back, though. I don't think we're going to be a threat for that 6th spot for them. But
the Breakers, we'll get into that in a bit. In terms of some other games, Southeast Melbourne Phoenix and the Bullets. This was a really good game for the Phoenix. They've been really good since their new coach has come in, Josh King, of course.
He's a shout for Coach of the Year as well. Obviously, Justin Tatum's the front runner right now, but I think he could be the second option right now on the charts for Coach of the Year. Yeah, what he's come in and done for Southeast Melbourne has just been phenomenal.
It's given me Justin Tatum vibes. Obviously, Illawarra really struggled last year behind their older coach. The name escapes my mind, obviously, but Justin Tatum came in, completely flipped the season around on its head for Illawarra last year. Josh King has done exactly the same for Southeast Melbourne. Obviously, at the start of the year where we saw it, they struggled immensely.
We almost wrote them off.
We almost had them written off so early. Derek Walton was playing really poor basketball. Nate Sobey was struggling to find his feet. But they've actually come on to be pretty good. Currently sitting in 5th on the table with 12 wins. In this game, Matt Hurt continuing his scoring prowess, and Nate Sobey as well. The two combined for 63 points in the night. That's very impressive.
Yeah. Josh Bannon, 23 points as well. He was really good. And Casey Prather for Brisbane. Man, he's just been going off. 21 points and 11 boards. I think this is his best season yet in the NBL for him.
Honestly, he's
better than his prime time.
He's turned back the clock to like 2017, but he's been even better. Obviously, the first half of the season for Casey Prather was, a little bit up and down. Brisbane was struggling quite a bit. But man, he had that really crazy stretch of games maybe about a month or 2 ago where he was out on an absolute heater.
Yeah, he's definitely making a name for himself. And Brizzy also still have a shout at making the playoffs. It's quite tight in the middle of the pack there, but with losses for Adelaide and New Zealand, that helps the likes of Brisbane, Tassie, and Southeast Melbourne to make those top 6 spots. I think from 5, 6, 7, and 8, maybe 9, depending on how optimistic you are of the Breakers season.
Yeah,
are kind of interchangeable, but it'll be interesting. It's going to be a very interesting last few rounds in the NBL.
Absolutely, and Tassie obviously took a bit of a hit tonight. They faced Perth. Honestly, Bryce Cotton just continuing, Will. It's actually insane how good he is. 32 points and 9 assists on the night, and a 32-point win against Tassie.
Yeah.
Crazy numbers.
I mean, if Bryce Cotton keeps putting these numbers up going into the postseason, Perth are definitely... I know I keep saying it for every team, but Perth could easily win it all if Bryce Cotton just decides he wants to go on a little 5-6 game streak. Could be just GG's for everyone else. No one can guard him.
This is Bryce Cotton's 8th season in the NBL, and he came into Perth 8 years ago when they were pretty average and took them to a chip literally as soon as he came in. He hasn't slowed down. He's only ever gotten better in this league. Could he go down as the GOAT?
I think if they win this year, I would already maybe consider him the GOAT.
Maybe of the modern era. Like Gazy's going to always be up there for the 48-minute era.
They're almost separate games. You can't compare them.
They're very different.
It's like the NBA, MJ's era and then Bron's era now. They're kind of 2 very different games.
I just think Bryce Cotton, and I think we were talking about this off pod, Will. Why is he not in the league? League this man. Yeah. You were saying what team couldn't use Bryce Cotton for I don't know, maybe between 8 and 12 points off the bench a night.
Yeah, and then I thought about it a little bit more and I realized it's his height.
Yeah.
That's always going to be the determining factor on these NBA teams. What is he, 5'10", maybe 5'11"?
Yeah,
that's just
small.
Too short to be on an NBA roster. And it's sad because some of the most talented basketball players in the world at that height. They're the
PJC.
quickest, they're the best shooters, they've got the best handles, and yet they'll never make it to the NBA just because of the fact that you're going to be a liability on defense.
Yeah, we've seen
unfair.
it before. PJC is up there for skill. Bryce Cotton, even Kendrick Davis as well. Absolutely putting the league on notice. But
Isaiah Thomas, he was like the first kind of guy in the modern NBA era who was really short, but he made an impact on the court offensively. But even him, like, the Celtics used to sub him off when, like, it came down to a clutch defensive possession.
I mean, he averaged 27 on the year as an all-star. I think he was even... Well, I wouldn't think he was an MVP contention at all, really, but averaging 27 at 5'7".
Yeah.
Kind of ridiculous.
He should still be in the league as well, by the way.
You reckon?
I reckon.
Maybe the NBA...
I think he got ran out of the league
I don't know
too
if you've
soon.
seen, but Isaiah Thomas has always said, NBL, why are you not signing me?
Yeah.
He would fit perfectly in this league.
Bro,
right?
yeah, why is no team signing him? He's literally like PJC, Bryce Cotton, but probably better. Maybe not now.
Bit older.
I
I think he still has it, though.
as soon as he was out of the NBA, he should have come straight down here and he would have been MVP, hands down.
Highly likely. I mean, on the Cavs, kind of got shipped off, lost his chance, bounced around a bit on those 10-day
He was
contracts.
in Denver for a bit as well.
Denver, I think he might have been on the Lakers at one point too. He bounced
Yeah.
in the Mavs, I think, as well.
Yep.
He bounced around a bit. I don't even know what IT's up to nowadays. Is he even hooping anymore?
I think he's still trying to make a comeback to the NBA. That's the last thing I saw. But maybe
You know what he needs to
realize
do?
that that's game over.
He needs to put his
point.
pride aside
Yeah.
and just take a pay cut and play in like minor league.
Go to EuroLeague or obviously NBL. Would love to have you down in the NBL.
Who wouldn't
But,
love Isaiah Thomas?
Maybe you'll go to Europe for a bit more money.
Yeah, potentially. And a bit of a live update as well while we're still here. This will be done, all said and done by the time the pod is up. But Sydney are currently facing Cairns, going 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter. 73-71 to Sydney, a very close game here, which is honestly very surprising. In Sydney, by the way.
Cairns obviously got the upper hand of Illawarra a couple weeks ago. If they could get the upper hand on
Surprisingly.
Sydney as well, those are two crazy upset wins for Cairns. So
Ridiculous.
I'm rooting for them.
Of
Always
course.
like an underdog.
Of course. And a loss for Sydney there would impact the table quite a bit too. Like this should be an easy win for Sydney, but they've been struggling. I mean, Brian Gorgian came out in the loss they had recently against United and said, it's not working.
It's like he was, when you're playing 2K and you're sitting up having a press conference and you have the options, plus fans, minus team chemistry. He hit that minus team chemistry
over and over
like
and over and
5
over
times, and it's now affecting the team. So great job, Gorgian.
Yeah.
You muppet.
Honestly, yeah. Like something we talked about it all year as well with Sydney, right? So much talent, not enough ball, not enough minutes, and it's showing now. Obviously, sitting currently fourth on the ladder, they should be whitewashing Cairns right now. At home,
Their subs should be on the court right now. Their starters should be sitting down and relaxing and getting ready for the next big game.
absolutely insane. And like Sydney need these wins if they want to try get that automatic entry into the semi-final. They're not very far behind Melbourne. They have the same amount of wins. They're just one loss ahead, or one loss ahead essentially. They could be 2 down after this if they somehow bottle this game against Cairns, the wooden spooners of the NBL.
Crazy. But should we get into it, Finn?
Oh, do we have to?
The 2 games that have happened for the Breakers since the last episode, and another 2 losses.
Who would have thought? I did. To be
I really
honest.
thought maybe that Cairns game was a turnaround.
No.
Maybe, just maybe, the optimistic side of me was like, the Breakers, we're going to turn it around. We're going to go on a 9-game win streak to round out the season, and we're going to finish 3rd or 4th.
Well, that's 3 on the trot, right? Since the Cairns game on New Year's Eve.
And what was it before that? 8?
8.
So
Then
we're,
1 win.
11-1 in the last 12?
Wow.
Jesus.
When you put it like that. And you know what's crazy, Will? I love to be an optimistic fan. We're somehow still in it, if you really think about it.
Yeah.
We have 7 games remaining in the season. We're 4 wins outside of the 6. It's not over till it's over.
We need a win at
If
least.
if we go on a 7-game win streak to round out the year and we make
get
the
in.
6, we'll get
If
in.
we won all 7, we'd get in. 6 would have a chance. 5 would be
No.
bare minimum. Possibility.
Yeah.
But unlikely. I think 6 is what we need to aim for. 1 more loss is all we can take.
It's
I
not
don't
looking
think-
good, though.
Yeah, I
It's
think
really
we've got
not.
another 4 or 5 losses coming our way, to be honest.
I think so too. And we'll start with this Bullets game. Obviously in Brisbane on Wednesday night, the week just gone. Only a 9-point loss for the Breakers. Casey Prather, once again, putting on a display with 31 points against us. We honestly had no answer for him. Mo King tried his best, went down with injury in the game. As soon as Mo King went down, the one tall, fast player we could actually have on Casey Prather, he turned his night around in the second half.
Yeah, Mooney, he got caught in foul trouble, but he did have 21 points on the night. He was obviously our top scorer. Not a single other breaker was in double figures, Finn. What do you think about that?
So concerning. Taco Fall, 3 for 3 from the field in 20 minutes. Clearly we were failing to get him the ball. Honestly, when you're facing big man Tyrell Harrison, honestly, did go out with a little bit of a concussion. I believe he did return, though. But facing another 7-footer and a big man like Tyrell Harrison, obviously Taco Fall was having a bit of a rough day in the office, some could say.
Yeah, but those are the sort of games where he should be playing well, because Tyrell Harrison's not going to be that much faster than Taco. All given he would still be faster than Taco. No player in the league is slower than Taco. But like those are the sort of games where he should be coming up on screens with Tyrell Harrison, because he's not as scared of the threat of a lob to Tyrell. He should be able to get back in time. But he just didn't make his impact that known. So
yeah, unfortunately,
bit of an L for Taco.
A loss on Wednesday, not positive, and we went into Saturday. Honestly, I had zero, and I mean literally not an ounce of me thought that we were going to win this game.
And you were right.
We were 750 outsiders on the TAB going into this game against Illawarra.
Crazy.
$1.08 for Illawarra to win this one. Obviously, top of the ladder.
Worth a bet on the Breakers, to be honest. I think any game's worth a bet if those are as crazy as the odds that they were.
750 is crazy. You would have lost your money, just quietly. Obviously, a 100 to 108 loss against the Hawks in Illawarra. I had no hope going into this game. However, I thought we were going to get absolutely blown out. Surprisingly, a very, very close game, Will.
Yeah, Matt Mooney stepped up again in this one. He's looked phenomenal since PJC went out with his suspension. Crazy. 33-point game, 7 3-pointers, which is a crazy amount for an NBL game, and 8 assists. So he's facilitating as well. He's playing that point guard role phenomenally in the absence of PJC.
Yeah.
And also, none other than Sam Menenga had
He's
a
back.
massive, big bounce-back game in this one for them. 24 points off the bench. Obviously, lost his starting role to Taco Fall, which is very undeserving for Taco, if you ask me. But he made it known that he should be starting still for the Breakers. 24 points.
I
Crazy.
completely agree with you, Will.
Yeah.
Honestly, the first half of the season before the fever break, Sam, you could honestly have almost said that he was our second best player.
Not even almost. He was. It was
Matt
clear.
Mooney, honestly, like beside PJC, wasn't really working as much as I thought it would. Very, very inconsistent. Sam Menenga was consistently putting up really, really good numbers for the Breakers alongside.
And when did those
PJC.
numbers go down? As soon as he lost his
Fever
starting
break, goes to the bench, Taco comes in. Sam has been, look, there's no easy way of saying this. Sam's been really good all year. He's been really, I wouldn't say poor, just been struggling to find, I think he's been struggling to find his identity with his new role on the bench. Obviously, when you've been kind of in the mindset of being a starting center the whole year, and then you just get shipped off for somebody that honestly probably didn't even really work that hard for it, you'd take a bit of a hit mentally. Maybe that's affected him a little bit. Still trying to contribute on both ends of the field. Court. But obviously last night, a really big game for Sam. You've got it on here. Pateri, please give him back his starting spot.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, losing that starting role, I know obviously that was a bit upsetting for you being a close friend of Sam's. But yeah, he definitely did not deserve to lose that starting spot. And Taco just came in there and he was like, that's mine. It's probably in his contract, to be honest.
Yeah, we
But
were
he
talking
needs to
about
start.
that. I reckon once he was off minutes restrictions and fully healthy, it was Taco Fall, you will start on the Breakers for the rest of the year.
To be perfectly honest, the biggest loser of this season for the Breakers is general management.
Oh, front
The whole
office.
front office has just ruined our season. We were going so well, and then they were like, you know what? Let's get rid of Freddie. Let's bring in this 7'6" tall dude who's going to get bums in seats and going to get us an extra bit of cash to get photos with. And yeah, they kind of just gave up on our title chances and just went all in on money making. So shout out to the front office for the Breakers. Big L for you guys.
Before we move on,
I need to chill. Sorry, actually. Yeah. It's all right, guys. You made we all make mistakes, but it's what we do after our mistakes and where we learn and we bounce back better than ever. 2026 NBL.
Taco's
Lakers.
back next year. He's on a 2-year deal. Maybe he finds his feet a little bit. Next season, we sign some good players and we give it another shot next year. But
Sign back Freddie.
oh my god, I'd love that.
Run a starting lineup of, I don't know, someone at point guard, Kareem at the 2, Sam Menenga at the 3,
What?
Freddie Gillespie at the 4, and Taco Fall at the 5.
It's a big team.
Chucking Jonah Bolden at the 1. Actually. Just
What are you
out-muscle.
smoking? What have you been smoking before
Just
the pod?
out-muscle the bloody team.
Oh my
bro.
god.
We may as well try something new at this point because whatever we're trying at the moment ain't
It
working.
would be like running that big lineup that the Nuggets ran in a preseason game once with Jokic and Bol both on the court with each other. And Jokic ran the point.
That was crazy.
That was a ridiculous team. But, well, I just wanted to note, before we move on, the game tomorrow night against Melbourne and at New Plymouth. This will be PJC's last game of his suspension. He'll be back for the last 6 games of the year.
Will he?
Well, I guess we'll see. But I just wanted to highlight how, honestly, Matt Mooney has really stepped up.
Yeah.
Where on earth has this been all season?
I mean, obviously it's come down to the fact that PJC's out. I mean, there's no other way of looking at it. PJC's out, Matt Mooney's the main guy on the team, and he's showing that he can be a number 1 option. But what we need is for him to keep up this efficiency and this effectiveness on the court with PJC also cooking alongside him. If they can collectively cook up a nice big feast together, then the Breakers, we have a chance. But it's a big if.
I'll throw this question at you then, Will. PJC returns next week. It's honestly, I couldn't tell you who we're playing. I'll be able to find that very quickly, of course. Melbourne on Monday, he's not here. Game on the weekend that we'll have, PJC returns. Would you like to see Matt Mooney be shipped off to the bench like a Lou Williams type role, play 25 minutes without PJC just for that number 1 option?
No, I don't want to see that because I think that would affect his mental. If he gets put on the bench, he might be like, I ain't no bench player. I'm a starter. And then might affect his gameplay. I think start them both, but split their minutes up. Like they do in the NBA sometimes. Maybe sub PJC off at 4 minutes into the game. Let Matt Mooney run out the rest of the first. And then he can sub off. PJC comes on. Plays the whole second, and Matt Mooney comes back on with 4 minutes to go in the second. Something like that.
So you think there is a way we can still kind of use both of them?
There's a way for them to both be number 1 options.
Because obviously Matt Mooney's consistency this year has been pretty poor, other than this 4-game stretch where he has been really effective.
Yeah.
He's had a few pretty good games here and there, but since the FIBA break was really woeful with sharing the court with PJC. So yeah, maybe that's right. Maybe we need to somehow use Matt Mooney's facilitator role with PJC off the court, because obviously PJC can't really operate on the court without the ball in his hand.
Maybe have them both on the court, but every now and again, let Matt Mooney run the ball up on a play. Let him run the point. PJC, maybe try play off ball for 1-2 possessions or something. Obviously, that's not what he's used to. But obviously, we need both of them on the court in the big games, in the big moments, clutch time. If PJC drives, which he's most likely going to do if it's a close game, then we need Matt Mooney out on the 3-point line for him to dish it out to and hit a big 3.
But the thing is, Matt Mooney's obviously shown that he's a better off-ball shooter than he is on-ball, catch and shoot.
Yeah. So
I'm assuming the 7 threes that he made against Illawarra, I'd say over 50% of them were off dribble.
Yeah, I think from memory, like 5 of them were off dribble.
Yeah. So his catch and shoot game with PJC like on the court facilitating, clearly that's not really his game. Maybe he's taken a bit of a different role when it comes to PJC being on the court.
Yeah, so I think realistically we need both of these guys to be getting 20 a game for the rest of the season if we want to have a chance of making that.
And honestly, I thought there was a chance of that happening. Last year with Anthony Lamb and PJC on the court at the same time, both averaged 20.
Yeah. Both
were top 5 in the league in scoring. It was really effective because they had both very different ways of scoring the ball. Anthony Lamb was facilitating inside in the low post as well as shooting threes. PJC getting into the hoop.
Yeah.
Both of them averaged 20. Yeah. I was expecting a similar sort of season from Matt Mooney and PJC this year, but obviously that hasn't exactly happened. So unless they got 6 games to figure it out, somehow we pull a miracle win against United, obviously tomorrow night. This will probably be up just before the game starts.
Yep.
Pull a miracle against United in New Plymouth tomorrow. Somehow PJC comes back fresh, hungry, angry at the NBL, ready to go. Comes back to his best self that we've seen in this year as well. Obviously was a leading MVP candidate at some point in the season, Will. And then somehow Matt Moody continues his prowess from what he's doing, and the Breakers pull an absolute miracle out of their asshole, and they somehow make the six.
It's very possible. I mean,
Anything's possible.
We've been a team of runs this whole season. Obviously, we've been on a very long losing run recently.
Yeah.
But let's not forget our winning run that we had. What was it, like 6 or 7 games on the trot?
Yeah.
I mean, if we do that, 6 or 7 games left on the season. What have we got,
Possible.
7 games left?
7 games.
Go 7-0. It's very possible. It's unlikely, but it's possible.
Anything is possible.
And even if we lose one of those.
Even one. Six wins to end this year, we somehow sneak into the 6, and we really just knuckle down in that play-in tournament and somehow sneak into a semi-final appearance.
We just need to get to that.
Obviously, this is a massive hypothetical.
Yeah.
And chances of this happening are like next to none. But don't write them off just yet. You never really...
We'll check in again next week. Just to mention quickly, 31 points for Trey in this game against
I think
the
he's
Breakers.
an MVP candidate this year.
Yeah, he's got to be.
Very good.
Top team in the league, so he absolutely cooked us. And Darius Days had 22 off the bench as well.
So I understand. An 8-point loss, though, against the top of the league in Illawarra.
With no PJC.
I've seen worse from us this year.
100%.
That Tassie game on that run, we scored 3 points in a quarter. That was probably some of the worst basketball we've seen this year. But for us to leave Illawarra with an 8-point loss against top of the table, I was thinking a 20-point loss in this game going into it, considering the run of losses we've been on. So not a lot of negatives to take away from this game. Obviously, the rest of the team didn't really stand up. Kareem Lopez had a pretty good game, I won't lie. It's good to see him get back in the scoring column, but it'll be interesting to see how we do against Melbourne on Monday, in front of a home crowd in New Plymouth. If you're in New Plymouth, get down there. We need some support for the boys.
We're playing too many games around the country as well, if you ask me.
What is your opinion on that?
I know we're the New Zealand Breakers, but like we need to have a home base where we're playing most of it, and I guess that is the case. It's Spark Arena. That is where we play most of our games. But I want to see more games at Spark Arena. I feel as though we've played too many around the country. Yeah. I mean, obviously, we want to spread around the basketball love to all you other fans around New Zealand. But maybe one in Christchurch, one in Wellington, an OG throwback one at North Shore Event Centre, and
the rest of Spark.
Sorry, New Plymouth.
The rest of Spark?
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind that either. I honestly wouldn't mind that.
More games for us to go to as well.
Yeah, we've honestly been pretty poor at getting down to games this year. We thought we'd get down to a lot more.
We might go to the Thursday game next week.
Yeah,
we'll see.
We'll see how we go. But that's it for the Breakers this week. Honestly, again, 2 more losses. We're praying we come next week refreshed on Sunday for hopefully 2 wins. And we'll see how it goes. But, of course, the NBA, it's still going. There's so much. I feel like there's a fair amount to talk about here. I think we should really start with probably, I'd say, the biggest story in the NBA right now. Where the hell is Jimmy Butler going?
I think the Phoenix Suns, Finn.
Yeah?
I think the Phoenix Suns. He's obviously been suspended by Pat Riley and the Miami Heat. Bit of a...
What's your opinion
what would you
on
say?
that? What was your opinion on that?
I think it's a bit of a silly suspension, a bit petty from Pat Riley, if you ask me. Let him play, mate, honestly.
I mean, do you see the games he was playing? He's taking the absolute mick.
Yeah, he was, I suppose. But for the fans, do it for the fans. Fans want to tune in and watch Jimmy Butler. He's an entertaining player, and it was funny seeing him take the mick. So, but obviously he made the right decision for the Heat.
So you think he's heading off to the Suns?
I think the Suns are definitely the front runner for him because they've offered him a 2-year extension worth $121 million. You ask me, that's a massive overpay for Jimmy Butler, who I don't think is...
Averages 18 a game on his career.
I think he's kind of on the decline, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't think it's just because he's in Miami. I think he goes to Phoenix, he's going to be the third option offensively. We might be seeing a 14-point per game type of Jimmy Butler.
What sort of package from Phoenix are you expecting?
Obviously Bradley Beal.
Bradley Beal definitely has to be in there.
Which would be good for Bradley Beal, if you ask me.
I agree.
Going to the Heat. He's going to be...
I mean, he's been shipped off to the bench.
To be fair, they got Tyler Hero at the 2 guys.
I still think Bradley Beal can facilitate well and play well alongside Tyler Hero.
Would he start at the point?
No, I don't think he starts at the point.
Keep him at the 3?
I think at the 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that'd be good. Obviously, they'd have to put in... to be honest, though, I think Bradley Beal for Jimmy Butler, if you look at it straight up, obviously you think Miami are losing that trade.
Oh, yeah.
But I kind of think that Jimmy Butler and Bradley Beal are similar players at this point in their career.
Yeah, I think so too.
I feel as though that would almost be like a fair trade, a fair swap.
And
Brad for
realistically, the Heat are losing anyway. Jimmy's not going to play basketball for the Miami Heat for the rest of this year, in my opinion. I don't think he's going to play a single game less.
He's gone.
So the longer they take to make a trade, they're actually losing out on his value.
Yeah.
They need to pull the trigger pretty soon.
Get Bradley Beal in there right away. You got him, Harrow, and Bam. I think he's still got a shout at winning.
Bam's had such a bad year, though. Such a down year.
Yeah, he has. I think there's still definitely a shout to get into the playoffs in the East, though.
I
Very
think so
weak
too.
East. Obviously, they'd probably have to throw in, like, I don't know.
pick
Is it
or
a
two.
first? Maybe a young player. I don't know. Ryan Dunn, the draft pick.
Oh, they're not. I think he's
he's too high
untouchable.
value.
I reckon he's untouchable on the Suns.
Untouchable. He's fallen off a lot since the start of the year.
Yes, potential through the roof, in my opinion, though.
Yeah.
A good shooter and a very good defender.
Maybe they'd send Nurkic as well, to be honest. They've been having problems
They've
with
got
Nurkic
Biff
in Phoenix.
yeah.
So get rid of
What's
him as
going?
well.
I mean, Phoenix are like they're out the play-in right now. I think.
Yeah, Phoenix are struggling. I think they're like the 12 seed.
So surprising. I had
Crazy.
them finishing a top 6 seed at the start of this year with KD, Booker, and Beal.
Book's having a stinker of a year.
You know who wasn't though?
KD.
KD.
KD's cooking.
Shout out KD. One of my favorite
I
players
think
in the
Book
world.
misses the All-Star game this year, by the way.
I also think so too. We obviously went through this last week.
Yeah,
I
true.
think Book might miss it. KD's not.
No chance.
KD's been cooking, man.
He could have been
I
average-
love KD.
He could be averaging 24 a game this season, and he's still making it off name value.
Yeah, of course.
But he's
Kevin
what? He's
Durant.
averaging 28? So
Is that how much he's
I
averaging?
think it's 28.
Damn.
Yeah.
I love KD. He's been one of my favorite players in the league since
Same,
I started
bro.
watching basketball. 'Cause
Even during that whole Warriors time where
still
everyone
love-
started hating on him,
Mate.
I still loved him, bro.
he was still in his prime.
He was just so fun to watch.
He's incredible.
Obviously, led the Warriors as the number one guy, their main guy,
No, he was.
to a chip.
He was. He won 2 Finals MVPs.
Yeah, they're only really like elite scoring option on that team. And obviously, yeah, took them all the way. So shout out KD. Finals MVP. Who else could it have been? No one else really.
Yeah.
Kevin was the only option. Maybe Klay Thompson at a fast shout.
Draymond Green or Andre Iguodala.
Yeah, they were. Andre won it. That remember when Andre
Yeah,
won it
20
in 20?
15.
So deserving.
Yeah, I
That was
couldn't
like
think
there
of-
was no one else.
Couldn't think of anyone else that could have.
No one
Wait,
else.
who's that?
Sean Livingston.
Oh,
Sean
that's.
Livingston.
I was
bro.
trying to think of a guy that was good at
Yeah.
shooting 3-pointers. I couldn't
Or Andrew
remember.
Bogut. He was cooking in that series. As
Yeah,
well,
there's
bro.
definitely not a guy with number 30 on his back that was probably should have got it.
Who?
Oh, I don't know actually. Speaking of
Moving on.
speaking of elite teams though, Cleveland Cavaliers are on track to get a 72-win season at this point.
They are, and they played.
Holy shit!
They played the second best record in the league, OKC, a couple nights ago. What a game!
What
that
a
was.
game!
What a game! I thought OKC would come out on top.
You know
of
what
this
was
one.
you know what was crazy? The crazy thing about this game, Donovan Mitchell had a stinker,
He did.
and the rest of the Cavs roster fucking turned up, bro. Evan Mobley, Darius Garland,
Darius Garland, man.
great games.
I'm already regretting my All-Star picks from last week. I think the Cavs deserve three
Three
All-Stars.
All-Stars. I think the Cavs
Darius
get 3. They
Garland
get
one.
D. Mitch, Garland, and Evan Mobley might all be making the All-Star game this year.
I
This
think-
this record is insane. 4 losses of the year, Will.
D. Mitch and Mobley are locks at this point.
I think so too.
I think Garland might just struggle because guards are so stacked.
Yeah.
But I put Tyler Hero in there last year. I'm officially making a change. Sorry, mate. Miami get no All-Stars.
Garland's taking Hero.
is taking his what? When I look at that Warriors team, and they had Steph, KD, Clay, and Draymond, 4 All-Stars on their team. This Cavs team have a better record than that Warriors team. And so they should be getting 3 All-Stars minimum. And even Jarrett Allen's a shout because he's having a great year as
You know
well.
what's funny? I've said this on the pod recently, and I've also said this like in a few other conversations as well. Obviously the Cavs had a ridiculous start to this year, still 32-4. I think I said maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was like, the Cavs won't continue this run. There's no way. The Celtics are gonna beat them.
I said the same.
Mate, the Cavs are definitely
Are they
still early.
contenders?
See, that's the thing. I don't know.
To the likes of Boston and OKC, I think are the favorites at the moment.
for obvious reasons,
Yeah.
and you can't ever count out the Nuggets.
No. Or the Bucks.
All the Bucks, really, with Giannis and Dame.
Dame and Giannis.
Dame and Giannis, whatever. But obviously, this Cavs team, I said earlier in the year that I don't think they're going to be able to continue on this win streak, but I think they're 11 or 12 games in a row now.
Yeah, it's insane.
Snapped the 15-game win streak from the Thunder too, may I add.
Yeah, they beat OKC, literally one of the 2 teams who are the favorites to win it all. Obviously, they're missing Chet.
And
It'll be a
obviously,
massive piece
it's
for them when
also
he comes
very
back.
different in the regular season too.
Yeah.
But
It felt like a playoff game.
I was saying the Cavs won't continue this record, but honestly, I think they've proven to me now, after almost 40 games, about halfway through the season, that they could They could somehow get a 70 win plus year.
Jesus.
I think it's possible. I genuinely think
What
it's
are they
possible.
now? 30 and...
30
something wins?
I don't know.
4 losses.
4 losses. And you know what? They haven't lost a single game to a Western Conference team.
Oh, yeah, that's insane.
That's insane.
Got to make the
They're
finals.
33 and 4.
It's what, 37 games, almost half. If they can make it to halfway and still have 4 losses, they're on track for that Warriors record.
Warriors record. It's
What was
possible.
that?
73 and 9.
73 and 9.
Obviously, the 72 and 10 Bulls in 96 was the team before that, and no one thought that was ever going to get broken. Obviously, that 2016 Warriors run was ridiculous. I wonder who beat them in the finals, though.
74 and 8.
Mate, at this rate, it could happen. This Cavs team
please,
is
please.
stacked. One of the best starting fives in the league. Obviously, you had the Knicks up there as well. But this Cavs team is out the gate, man. Darius Garland has been hooping. Obviously, the fact that he's had this comeback from his broken jaw, I think he lost about 15 pounds
Jesus.
of whatever because he couldn't eat because his jaw was wide shut. He's made a comeback, dropped a 40-piece a couple days ago. He's been hooping as well.
Shout out Garland, man.
He deserves an All-Star. Obviously, he's had one in the past. I think he gets another one, though. I genuinely think him and Mobley and D. Mitch all get All-Stars this year with how
agree.
good the Cavs have been.
Possibly Jared Allen. No, I think that's too much. But they deserve it. They definitely deserve 4 All-Stars.
Absolutely. You know who else is going to deserve an All-Star this year? Jokic, of course. We might have to highlight this game yesterday. I think it was the first time in history that there was 2 25-point triple-doubles in a game.
Crazy.
Shout
Russ
out,
has really
shout
rebounded.
out Russell fucking Westbrook, bro. Honestly, shout out Westbrook. If any team other than the Clippers could win a chip this year, I would love to see the Nuggets win just so Westbrook could get a ring.
Yeah. Definitely.
It's
Shout out Russ.
so deserved.
Yeah.
That man's mentality in terms of basketball is through the gate. Like, out the gate. Somebody that is a former MVP in 2016, breaking the triple-double record, had a really good year in the Wizards, and obviously got traded out, lands on the Lakers and the Clippers. Instead of holding his ego too high and trying to take a role that was far out of his league at the time, he put his pride aside and has become a role player. Exactly what any veteran should do in this league, and he's done it perfectly. Somebody that can come off the bench, give you a 25-point triple-double.
He might be after that starting job from Jamal Murray.
The Nuggets...
Jamal's been
Honestly,
stinking
I
up the
wouldn't
gas.
even be surprised. I wouldn't even be surprised. Is that crazy to say?
No, I think this season, Russ has been better than Jamal Murray.
Yeah. He's got multiple triple-doubles off the bench this year.
He's a top, dare I say it, 15 point guard in the league this year? Nah, 20. Top 20. He's a top 20
He's still
point guard
up
in the
there.
league this
He's
year.
still up there. It's Russell Westbrook. Obviously, relatively inconsistent when you kind of look at it that way. But at the end of the day, he is Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
He is a genuinely valuable piece anywhere. I loved his time on the Clippers. I thought he was excellent. It's a bit harsh letting him go. Obviously, it sort of has worked out in our favor, I feel like. We didn't really need him anymore. But shout out the Nuggets. Shout out Jokic. Shout out Westbrook. I think they've done very well. And honestly, shout out Trae Young.
Half-court game winner over the Jazz. This was insane. Colin Sexton tied it up, and then they inbounded to Trae Young. Everyone thought it was going OT. Nope. Bangs it in from half-court.
Ridiculous.
To go along with his 2020 game. He's obviously leading the league in assists. Yeah, he's having a crazy year.
You know what's funny? Because we were both saying that the Hawks get an all-star, but is it going to be Trae Young or Jalen Johnson?
It's got to be Trae Young now.
You think it is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has to be. But guard position is more stacked. So and with the likes of Darius Garland, who I think should get in, I think Trae might miss it.
Jalen Johnson still might get in because the front court's pretty weak in the East. For the
But
most
then
part.
again, Jared Allen probably deserves it over Jalen Johnson.
I don't know.
So
I don't know. That's a toughie
they
one.
might
Eh?
deserve 4 All-Stars.
That's a toughie one. Kawhi Leonard returned. Obviously, we talked about that last week. He missed his game straight.
He
after.
deserves another clap. Good to see you back,
Does he
Kawhi.
deserve a clap for missing the second game he was supposed to play in?
No.
No.
LA
you know what?
Wildfires.
You know what? He should deserve a clap because he actually went to go and try to save his family.
Yeah, fair.
So he obviously didn't play in the second game. We lost. Unfortunate. And then the game actually against the Hornets. All right. The Hornets, the game we were supposed to play today, got postponed for the fires as well. Just honestly, a quick shout out to all the families in California that has suffered from these fires.
Horrible, bro.
It's horrific, honestly. Actually, a friend of mine, his best friend in America lost his house. Jesus. So sad. His childhood home.
And have you seen what these scumbag insurance companies have been doing?
No.
Like 3 months ago, they cancelled the policies of a wildfire on all these houses that have been burnt to the ground in LA. And now they're not paying these families out who have just lost everything in fires. It's almost as if they knew it was coming, but
Far out. But
scumbags, bro.
Yeah. But honestly, shout out all the families in Cali that have been affected. Prayers out to you, of course, and hope you're all safe. Obviously, a number of houses, thousands probably, houses literally gone up in flames. So very, very sad. However, we're going to end on a more positive note. We've got another fun little game to end the episode on. This time, it's sort of going to be a draft, but it's going to be a blind ranking of NBA players to end off the episode this week.
Yes, sir.
I'm giving Will 24, 25 current players, how they're doing this season, and Will is going to be throwing me all-time players of how they've been in their entire career.
I'll lead it off, shall I?
You'll go first.
Okay. So I'm just going to give you them how I've wrote them down on my notes. If there it is. Okay. And we'll write it down. 1 through 10.
Yep.
Clyde Drexler. Type him in where you think.
I'm going to put him at 6.
Clyde Drexler at 6. Okay.
Yeah.
Second, we're going to go with LaMarcus Aldridge.
Oh, yeah.
Clyde at 6 is...
Well, I don't know who else you have on here.
Yeah, okay, fair.
Is this accolades as well, or just how they play?
Just whatever you want.
7.
You decide. 7 for LaMarcus. Isaiah Thomas. Boston Isaiah Thomas. Speaking of the devil, we just talked about him before.
4.
4?
4.
Over Clyde Drexler?
Yep. Average 27.
Are you okay in the
4.
head? Clyde Drexler was like one of the greatest players of all time.
4.
Okay. John Stockton.
Ooh. Oh, God. Oh, damn. Okay, I might have actually shot myself in the foot here. He's the all-time assist leader. 3rd.
And steals.
3rd.
Zydrunas Ilgauskas.
Okay, Big Z.
Big Z.
Mate, you're going to go 9, because I feel like you've got a can in there for me.
9? Okay. Kirk Penny.
Sorry?
Kirk Penny.
Yeah, I know he played 3 games. 10.
10?
Yep.
Okay. So you've saved the next couple spots.
8, 5, 2, and 1.
Shabazz Napier.
Mate.
Shabazz Napier.
My list is so different. Okay, Shabazz Napier is going 8.
8?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, you're going to love the rest of this.
Oh, God.
Guess who's going above Clyde Drexler and LaMarcus Aldridge? Sean Livingston.
Yes! Mate, he's going number 2.
Sean Livingston, too.
Best mid-range shooter of all time.
Okay. Crazy. Kobe Bean Bryant.
1.
1?
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to hate this then. Your number 5 spot is none other than Blake Griffin.
Oh, no! I really wish I kept my number 1
Jesus.
spot
Do you want
now.
to quickly go through and tell the people how you've done your 1 through 10
This is an
thing?
excellent Brian ranking, in my opinion. We'll start at number 1, Kobe Bean Bryant. Number 2, the best mid-range shooter of all time is Sean Livingston. Number 3, John Stockton. Number 4, Isaiah Thomas, Boston, 27 a game. My GOAT, Blake Griffin, number 5. Now, my favorite player of all time, Blake Griffin, number 5. Clyde Drexler at 6. That's pretty valid.
No.
LaMarcus Aldridge at 7. Shabazz Napier at 8. Great player. Ilgauskas at 9. And Kiwi legend, Kirk Penny. Obviously, 3 games for Miami Heat under his belt.
Okay.
All right, well, your turn, mate. This is going to be
Oh.
current 2024-25 season, how they're playing this year.
24-25.
And we're going to go down my list from first to bottom, how I've written them in. We'll start off with LeBron James.
LeBron James? I'll give him a 3.
Okay.
LeBron at 3.
Shaden Sharp.
4.
Oh, my God.
Shaden Sharp at 4. Write it in.
Damian Lamonte Lillard.
1. No, I should do this realistically. 2.
Okay.
No, 1.
1.
Dame at 1.
Okay.
He's been better than LeBron this season.
Norman Powell.
You know, I kind of started a bit top heavy, so I might need to leave some more room in the middle of the table.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll put him at 9.
That's ridiculous. Okay.
Norm at 9. Valid.
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
I've left 2 free, to be fair.
Okay.
Shea at 2.
Yep. Nikola Jokic.
Bro, why are you just giving me all superstars? Come on now. Guess he has to go at number 5. Jokic at 5.
Victor Wembanyama.
Oh my god, mate. Wemby at 6. I got Norm at 9 right at this point.
Steph Curry.
10.
Oh, okay.
No. Based on... Oh, man. I'll put him at 8.
Okay.
Because I've got 7 and 10 left now, and I think you're going to give me another superstar.
LaMelo Ball.
He's been better than Steph this year, so I got to put him at 7.
Oh, I'm really upset. The player at 10 is perfect.
Don't say Anthony Simons.
It's Denny Advia.
Yes!
I know how much.
Come on!
I know how much you hate him.
Get up, yeah, my boy.
All right, go through your team, Will.
So number 1, this is actually a really good list now that I'm looking at it. 1, I've got Dame. 2, I've got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. 3, I've got LeBron. 4, I've got Shaedon Sharpe. 5, I've got Nikola Jokic. 6, I've got the alien Victor Wembanyama. 7, LaMelo Ball. 8, Steph Curry. 9, Norman Powell. And 10, Denny Avdia. I'd swap Norman Steph if I had the option. Obviously, Steph would be at 9, honestly.
You know what?
based on last
Surprisingly,
season.
other than the Shaedon Sharpe pick at 4, you've actually done all right.
Yeah.
Which I'm really pissed off about.
I mean, Dame's obviously 1. Shai's obviously 2. I put Jokic 3. No, Dame. I'd go Dame, Jokic, Shai, LeBron, Wemby,
Don't you say Shaedon Sharpe.
LaMelo,
Okay.
Shaedon Sharpe,
Oh my God.
Steph, Norm, Avdia.
Okay. Ridiculous. Let us know how you think about the blind ranking down below. Mine was criminal. Will's is a little more accurate. But that is all it.
Why are you giving me all superstars, bro?
Well,
Come
because
on. Apart from Denny.
Denny Avia.
Bum.
What a great. You said Shaedon Sharpe's a superstar.
100%.
Alrighty.
He's a megastar.
That's it for episode number 20. Hopefully we come back next week a little more brighter with the Breakers hopefully getting 2 wins or 3 wins on the week. But that is all. Thanks for joining, and let us know down below whether you think our blind rankings are good or not.
Sure.